Wow. I'm Gary Bernardez, the board chair for Junior Achievement of the Upstate. I think we just showed, I know our video talked about, opening video talked about that some of our youth aren't ready. Well, we know 5 that are, right? You just talked to them. Connie mentioned some really terrific statistics. I've just taken over as board chair, starting a new term. I want to acknowledge our prior board chair, Henry Dupree. Most of the governance and oversight that helped us achieve the numbers you saw came from Henry's leadership, so I'd like Henry to stand and thank him for his service. So I want to introduce our speaker before he goes and recruits the 5 students that just talked on the stage, because he's a busy guy. CEO and co-founder of ChartSpan. They became the largest managed provider of patient care coordinated services in the country this year. 200 employees strong, on their way to 500 over the next 36 months. So if anybody knows about looking for talent, keeping talent, and needing people ready to work, it's this gentleman. I want to introduce you to our speaker, CEO of ChartSpan, Jon-Michial Carter.
Good morning. I think the hardest part of building truly great companies is finding extraordinary talent. But when you do, you can take a good company and turn it into a great company. And the reward is immeasurable. It is a culture that you build within your company, an energy that allows you to keep extraordinary talent and attract great talent. So this morning, it's my pleasure to share with you 2 secrets that I have found over the years that really constitute and make up the chemistry of extraordinary talent. This is me and my brother. We founded ChartSpan, the company, together. In case you're confused, I'm the handsome one on the left. ChartSpan is a healthcare technology company. I tell my mom, quite simply, we help patients in between their doctor's office visits. And that's important in this new value-based care model that you may have heard about in healthcare. I often hear that phrase, value-based care, and I wonder if anybody really understands what it means, because it's become such a mainstay in healthcare today. But let me explain it to you. We've moved from a volume-based care model in healthcare, where the doctor sees as many patients as possible and gets paid for each one of those encounters, to a value-based care model. We now pay doctors for their performance. We pay them for improved patient outcomes. And we think that's a good thing. And that's the role that ChartSpan plays. Because if you think about value-based care, it requires preventative intervention. But how do doctors work today? When do you go see the doctor? When you're sick. A reactionary mode, right? And doctors don't have a bunch of capacity, a bunch of nurses and a call center and all the things they need to do to preventatively engage with their patients outside the doctor's office. That's where ChartSpan comes in. We work with health systems and clinics and doctors to engage with their patients telephonically every month. We don't replace the doctor. We don't even practice medicine. What we do is focus on those low-level care coordination activities that exacerbate the condition of somebody that has diabetes or high blood pressure or heart disease. We reach out to them every month, and we make sure that that patient is taking their prescriptions, getting their refills, getting their appointments, going to the specialist that they need to see, making sure that they're following the care goals and the care plans that their doctors have established. That's value-based care. We're thrilled, as Gary said, to have become the largest provider of care coordination services in the country this summer. We have about 200 employees. We've raised nearly $25 million in venture capital that we've invested in those employees and this community. Our headquarters are right across the street, and we're proud to be a part of Greenville. We're also proud this summer to have been featured in Bloomberg Business Week as one of the companies that has helped make Greenville the new Silicon Valley of the South. I don't know if you know this, but there are about 150 technology and startup companies in the Greenville area, and we're all struggling with workforce development. How do we find great talent? How do we ensure that they have housing and good schools and the transportation they need to be able to work at our companies. But I want to focus on talent. What makes a great employee? Is it a mystery to you? Do you think a lot about it? I know I do. What are the most important skill sets needed to succeed in the workplace? I bet if I asked you, you would consider one of these 5 things the most important. Perhaps cognitive ability, somebody's intelligence, maybe motivation, their personal drive, maybe their personality, their character, who they are, maybe the depth of their experience or their education. I'm curious, who thinks that the most important predictor of success in the workplace is your intelligence, your cognitive skills? Raise your hands if you think that's the most important. Experience? The truth is, it's a trick question. We know from social scientists that none of those 5 things predict success in the workplace. We do know from those same social scientists there is one indicator of success in the workplace, proven over and over. Resiliency. The ability to overcome any obstacle, any adversity. Do you want the smartest woman or guy? Or do you want the one that always finds the finish line? The one you can always count on? The one who always gets it done, no matter the project, no matter the task, no matter the problem? I have always found that I will choose the person who is most resilient. The ingredients are predictable. You are a nurturer if you are resilient. You wake up every day and you are an optimist. You believe you will overcome, that you will accomplish whatever challenge is put in front of you today. And the best part of resiliency is that it's learned. Unlike cognitive ability or experience that takes years to garner, resiliency can be learned. I know this. I struggled with resiliency as a young professional. I could handle the big, stressful problems, right? If you needed to raise $25 million, I was your guy. If the roof's on fire, I'll evacuate your building. But I struggled with the tiny things at work and even in my personal life. My wife will tell you if my sock drawer was messed up, I'd lose my mind, right? But I learned how to become resilient. And I've seen others do it, and they become extraordinary talent in the workplace. The second secret ingredient I have found that constitutes extraordinary talent is radical candor. The courage to be honest in the moment and deal with conflict. That's hard. Think about the human condition. We naturally shy away from conflict. It's awkward. It's uncomfortable to deal with, right? So we'd rather just sweep it under the rug. When someone's talking in a meeting, we always have 2 streams of consciousness, right? We take what they're saying and we hear what they're saying, but we're analyzing it, right? We're being critical of it. The truth is, those that are most successful at radical candor take that critical assessment and in the moment, they address it with kindness. Candor requires kindness because without kindness, you're just a jerk and nobody wants to work with a jerk, right? The ingredients of radical candor are also predictable. You have to be caring. You care about that person. You care about the problem you're trying to solve. You care about the company you're working for. And humility is a staple of radical candor. Because, trust me, candor travels a 360 arc. You may be critical of somebody else and constructively address that problem, but you also need to be vulnerable and admit when you've made mistakes and apologize. And most importantly, radical candor requires you to deal with the conflict the moment it happens. Not an hour later, not a week or a month later, but the moment that it happens, directly and with kindness. Junior achievement helps develop these soft skills, resiliency and radical candor. Last year, they helped, actually over the last 2 years, they've helped nearly 5 million students across the country. And as you heard earlier, 10,000 students just in this community alone. Those are students that you may be working alongside soon, or that I may be hiring, or you may be hiring in your company. So I ask you a favor before you leave today. Do one of 2 things. commit to volunteering for JA, or take out your checkbook and make a contribution to help the organization. I appreciate your time this morning.